Yes, my friends, we've done it again. We've made it back to America's most popular podcast. It's
the number one podcast.
Two guys, one podcast. Did I get it right this time?
It is two teams.
Oh, two teams.
One podcast.
I totally thought I had it right the first time.
Well, it's interesting because once baseball season ends, we may have to change it to two guys, one podcast.
Two schmoes, one podcast.
3 Men and a Baby.
I like two schmoes, one podcast. That works well for me. All right, so listen, until the end of the baseball season, we're talking Yanks and Mets here in 2018. Still got a lot of games, Yankees and Mets here on Picks 11 for the remainder of the season. Of course, the Yankees making that run toward their big wild card playoff game.
Why do you got to say it like that?
Because there's no way you're coming back on the Red Sox.
Do you know, just a few years ago, what happened to the Red Sox? They lost a 9-game lead and didn't even make the postseason.
But that's not happening this year. Have they even had a 3-game losing streak?
It's bound to happen.
Dude, they're going to win 120 games, for God's sake.
And the Yankees are going to hit how many home runs? It's all semantics.
It doesn't matter.
It's not over, like Yogi said, till it's over.
Listen, it's really not, because the Yankees, if you think about it, the Yankees, I think they knocked it down to 8. They're down to 8 games now because the Red Sox lost.
As of this recording.
Right. Yankees knocked it down to 8. They're playing some really garbage teams the next week or so.
Don't they play each other too?
They will. They'll get to each other. But the Yankees, they think they have 6 more games with each other. The Yankees play.
It's not over.
They're playing the Marlins. They're playing the Orioles. They're playing the White Sox. These are all garbage teams.
You brushed up on your schedule.
You like that?
I like that.
They're all garbage teams that the Yankees should knock down like bowling pins. And if they continue to win, you never know. When you get to the Red Sox, that first weekend, they could be 5 games off. You never know.
But the problem is the Yankees have struggled against the likes of the Rays and the Orioles.
Yeah, well, come on. Listen, the Orioles...
I'm a Yankee fan here, and I'm saying it.
They've gone 6-6 in 12 games against the Orioles. So now's the time. Now's the time for the Yankees to say, you know what? What'd you say?
Churn that butter.
Churn that butter and smack the Orioles right in the face just for the fact that they put up 6 wins against the Yankees.
Love it.
Right?
It's possible. It's not over till it's over.
By the way, the Orioles game against the Yankees on Saturday, the 25th, is a 7 o'clock game.
Yes.
Right here on Picks 11 with a 6:30 pregame.
Who's producing that?
Right here on Picks. I believe you are. Ladies and gentlemen, we never introduced ourselves. I'm Scott Stanford. This is Bret the Hitman Callahan. But you knew that already.
Thank you.
All right, so listen. We're talking about injuries. Didi.
Before we get to the injuries, what scares me, I got to talk about this playoff.
Playoffs?
Wild card playoff.
We're talking about playoffs?
Yes, I am, Jim Moore.
Go ahead.
Here's the problem. It's a 1-game playoff.
1 game.
The problem is the Yankees are like the lead for the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 teams is Oakland and the Astros, and they're tied.
Yes.
I don't want to face the Astros.
But that's good for the Yankees. You know why?
Why?
Because the Astros may need to use the Verlanders of the world just to try and win the division, and then he's not available.
Well, you know what's amazing about
not available
Verlander?
for the
He
wild
hasn't pitched
card.
well lately.
Right.
Since he announced his wife is pregnant.
Yeah, well.
It happens, right?
Listen, if you were married to Kate Upton, you wouldn't be able to focus either.
I have no concentration. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's talk injuries. Didi's on the 10-day DL.
Right.
He joins Judge and Sanchez.
Hurts.
These are 3 main components of this Yankee team.
Yes,
We're talking about almost 30% of the home runs on this team out right now.
I have a solution.
I knew you would.
I do.
Go ahead.
The Yankees have had trouble finding players, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how the MLB trade deadline works is where the guys, other teams have gotten to the other players of the world before the Yankees get their opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the guy from the Nationals was just signed.
Right. Well, when somebody goes on waivers,
the waiver wire.
The better teams don't get a chance. You know, they have to wait in line to claim these players.
But what about a free agent?
Who?
How about a guy who's 6'8", 385 pounds?
Dave Winfield?
Close.
Who?
He can hit the ball over the fence, no problem.
Country Mile?
Country Mile.
Is this even realistic? Who are we talking about?
He has a Money in the Bank contract.
Oh, Jesus. Braun Strowman?
I'm telling you. Have you seen the video? Braun Strowman might be the answer to the Yankees' prayers.
Was he in a batting cage somewhere?
He was. He was taking batting practice over in Brooklyn.
Oh, with the Cyclones?
Hitting balls out of the park.
Oh, I could imagine.
So why don't the Yankees just sign Braun Strowman?
Man, oh, man.
SB Nation said they should, and I agree with them.
That would be pretty cool.
That'd be great, right?
See Stroman running around.
The monster among men in the outfield.
And I think, is Aaron Judge, is he bigger than Judge?
He might be.
I know he's heavier than
Look,
Judge.
he's 6'8", 385. I ain't going to want to.
Judge is 6'7".
Can you imagine him holding a baseball bat, just crushing the ball?
Braun Strowman, Money in the Bank. You went right to SummerSlam, didn't you? Right to the You went right past Mets over to SummerSlam.
Come on, I went right past the Mets. The Mets. Here's my interpretation, my impression of the Mets.
Wait. Dominic Smith, Ahmed Rosario up for the fly ball.
I can't find the ball.
Oh, and they drop it.
Could you imagine that that's a play in baseball?
This was like the Three Stooges.
It's terrible.
What did I say on the air? It was Abbott and Costello meets the...
Oh, it's bad. Three Stooges, yeah. Abbott and
The
Costello.
Keystone Cops.
Even that kid who hits dingers could catch that ball.
It must have been club, but it's over now.
It makes me take off my glasses. It's so bad. My interpretation, one more time.
Mets just continue to. I mean, listen, they played tough in that game against the Giants.
It is amazing, though. The Mets have had like some of the most runs in Major League Baseball since Cespedes went on the DL again.
Yeah, they've
and
been
announced
putting
his
up a
surgery.
lot of runs.
They're putting up a lot of runs. Wheeler's pitching great. Yet I have no hope for them next season.
It was just funny to hear Howie Rose on the air listening on the way home when they dropped that ball. It was funny to hear Howie say, shades of 1962. Howie summoning 1962, the worst year of any team in baseball history.
Let me ask you this question. The Mets have played pretty well in this recent stretch.
Yeah, last 2 weeks, sure.
Do you give them any chance next year of doing anything?
No.
Why?
Because I just think they're going to be in the same position.
Okay.
Let's say you get Syndergaard's healthy. DeGrom, of course, as great as he is. Let's say Wheeler's just as good.
Yes.
They just don't have the talent at the plate in order to win.
Well, but you got guys.
Ball games.
I'll give you two guys who are free agents in Bryce Harper, who was almost claimed by the Dodgers.
Are they going to spend the money?
That's the question, and Manny Machado.
Oh, you're going to get Bryce Harper and Manny Machado?
I didn't say the Mets are
going to get both of those guys.
No. Can you imagine the Mets actually coming out this offseason and signing both guys?
Yeah. Just the thought of that has, Fred and Jeff Wilpon, they're in the corner in the fetal position,
great.
Sucking their thumbs.
Oh, boy.
Thinking about Bryce Harper. But that's what they should do.
Right.
You open up the pocketbook on those two guys, you're going to get the return back.
And you're going to get, because the fans are going to finally start coming back to the ballpark.
You'll fill the stadium. You'll fill that stadium up. That would be
and they
amazing.
won't do it.
You touched on SummerSlam.
I did.
Brock Lesnar, no longer the champ. He's off to UFC.
What did you think of SummerSlam?
Ronda Rousey, the new Raw Women's Champion.
Well, can we talk about that for a second here?
Go ahead.
They have just basically kissed Ronda Rousey's butt the entire time. We understand she was a UFC fighter. We understand that she's now a wrestler. Number one, they're pushing her too quickly to the top. I don't like that. Number two, she's not that great a wrestler. She's very green. And you basically have your champion was Alexa Bliss. You poo-pooed her and said, well, Ronda beat her in 2 seconds. Who cares?
I know why you're upset, because you like Alexa Bliss. You like Alexa, don't you?
But, I have a problem with that. And I don't like the way WWE books matches anymore.
Well, why don't you call Vince and tell him?
I would love to. If he was sitting in this chair, because here's the point, and I'll tell you why. They've had 4 events in Brooklyn. They had the NXT TakeOver. They had the Summer Slam, the Raw, and the SmackDown. The best one of the night was all those was the NXT TakeOver. And even you told me the Ciampa Gargano match was fantastic.
That was very good. It was the only match I saw. Those guys absolutely destroyed each other. But it was good. It was good theater, and that's what you want. You want good theater.
And Triple H is in charge of that brand, not Vince.
And of course, WrestleMania 35 coming to the Meadowlands in 2019.
Big weekend that weekend for wrestling.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
You also have the G1 Supercar with Ring of Honor.
It's going to be great. I will not talk about any one of those but WWE.
Okay.
I'm contractually obligated to never speak of any of those things ever again, and neither are you. Little League World Series, the boys from Staten Island.
Nice. Congratulations.
Still in it as of this broadcast. I believe they're taking on Hawaii. Right? So as of this broadcast...
Did they play baseball in Hawaii?
Hawaii does play baseball. Very good team. They're still in it. And the Mid-Island...
The only thing I know about Hawaii is they like Spam and Dog the Bounty Hunters from there.
And surfing.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Let me ask you a question. We got up to Yankees for a second. Have you heard Tyler Austin's dad?
Yes, I ran that story the other night.
Ripping the Yankees for keeping Bird?
Yes.
What do you think?
I just.
Is it just a disgruntled father standing up for his son?
It's a disgruntled father. I think it. If I'm Tyler Austin, I'm like, Dad, what? You're killing me, man. You're killing me. You're making me look.
But
bad.
he makes a point.
This is like the mother on the Goldbergs sticking up for the kids in school.
I'm going to school,
and her embarrassing them, right?
I think it makes kind of sense, though. I really do. I mean, look, Tyler Austin's dad has a point. Greg Bird has been terrible, especially with runners in scoring position. So I don't have a problem.
Last couple of days, the guy's been hitting grand slams. He's back a little bit.
You said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but he's back again.
Tiger Woods is back. Greg Bird is back. Who's back next week? Everybady's back.
All right, listen. Let's finish it off.
We're gonna wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up. We got a big stretch of games here coming up.
I'm excited.
Yankees need to. Listen. We're not giving up on the Yankees. Not
you
winning
almost
the division.
did in the beginning of this podcast.
I was. I'm still skeptical. I'm still looking at one game playoff wild card, but I would love nothing more. Listen, the reason for me is I like the entertainment. So I want the last time the Yankees and Red Sox get together that there's a shot.
Is it more that you want to just go to the one-game wild card playoff and be done covering baseball?
Me? No, I love it.
Oh, do you?
I would love for the Yanks and Red Sox to play a series, and then we'll go to Boston.
It would be great.
We'll hang out.
Could you imagine us doing this podcast, me and my Yankee gear in front of Fenway Park?
We'll be at Yorkie Way.
Could you imagine me wearing a Yankee jersey there?
Oh, no, you're not doing that.
Why not?
Don't throw gasoline on us.
I've done it before. I'm going
to put a cage between us.
When Roger Clemens was traded to the Yankees, I wore my Roger Clemens shirt in Fenway Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this edition of Two Guys, Three Podcasts.
Wrong.
What is it?
Two teams.
Two teams, one podcast. And let me tell you something. Regardless of what I call it, this is the hottest podcast in all of America now, right?
I've heard
My mother said that. She said this is the best podcast ever.
Although the podcast about the Golden Girls is taken off.
Golden Girls?
Yeah.
There's a podcast?
Yeah, I heard.
I got to check that out.
You have to look at it.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Listen, you could check out...
Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being... Mets and Nationals Friday at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
And Saturday, Yankees taking on the Orioles at 7. All right here on Pix 11. Pix11.com/baseball for the full schedule. You find episodes of this podcast. Two teams, one podcast. He's Brett Callahan.
6'8", 385, Braun Strowman, Yankees.
I'm Scott Stanford. Bye-bye now.
Woo!